Hi folks, welcome back to my channel. This is Balsamic Moon Tarot, and I'm here with a monthly reading that I do around the time of the Balsamic Moon, so it's a few days, the last few days before the new moon. I will do a collective reading today, and I also invite my viewers to submit questions for these readings. If you subscribe to my channel, you'll see in the community section that I make posts every once in a while, and I'll put up a post in advance, like a couple days in advance, to give you a chance to ask questions. You can submit your questions and then I'll answer them in this Balsamic Moon reading. But yeah, I'm going to just channel whatever comes through. The Balsamic Moon, the moon is currently in Aquarius, so if you consider the sun that is in Pisces right now, the moon is basically in the 12th house of that sun. So the Balsamic Moon phase, or the waning crescent, this is a time when we usually need rest. We usually need to turn in. We're not feeling as sociable or as outgoing as we normally would be. We usually need to listen to our bodies. Maybe our bodies are exhausted and they're telling us, you know, the ways that they need to be cared for and to be restored. So, you know, it could be taking a really nice hot bath. It could be just getting more sleep than usual, or even, you know, having more time in darkness or in quiet, away from stimulation. So it all depends on who you are, what you're like. But for me, the being born under this moon phase, I really appreciate this time every month, because I feel like I'm just kind of a little bit more in my element, I guess. So I decided to start doing these readings to really intentionally channel whatever messages would come through at this time from, you know, from the universe, from my guides, from Luna, from the divine feminine. So we'll see what happens this time. The other thing I wanted to mention is that I am offering personal readings now. So if you look in the description, you'll see links to purchase a reading from me that's in this format, a video format, that I'll send you, you know, I'll just send you a video link. I also have limited availability for doing live tarot readings, so just hit me up. The email is in the description if you're interested in that. Okay, so let's get started. I've got my coffee here. I've got a lovely spot by the window. What I was getting as a first message earlier, before I started recording, I got this one message, which is, make the choice before the choice is made for you. And I know that sounds a bit ominous, but I think that some of us are grieving. I think grieving the possibilities, grieving what we, you know, really we're clinging to as a future, as a possibility for us. You know, maybe there was a career path, or maybe there was a family situation, like having kids or being married to a particular person. Like, I think some of us are grieving that the past self, where that was, you know, like a very real and possible reality, real reality. You know, that was a very very, you know, it seemed like a very real future. Okay, and so we're grieving that past self that kind of took it for granted that that would be what we do in life, and now we're finding ourselves in this, you know, following a different drum beat, or just in a different track. And it's really not a bad thing. I'm not getting a sense that we're grieving because we are in a worse off situation. I just think that this is a time to grieve, you know, past identities or past roles, past feelings. So what I'm getting first is to make the choice before the choice is made for you, is to rein you know, to get in touch with that unprocessed grief that might still be there, because all those feelings are a part of you. And so to make the best decision for you in your life right now, right? Like you have to take into account truly where you're at. Like you have to be honest with where you're at right now. Otherwise the decisions you make could be from a limited sense of who you are, or, you know, it could be from something more ego-based rather than soul-based. So that's just the first message I'm getting, but we're going to start pulling some cards here. I feel like I already got these three, so let's start with these. We have the Three of Wands. Wow, we have the Temperance card, beautiful. And we have the Seven of Swords, interesting. So yeah, in terms of a collective message, you know, with the Temperance card, there is a transformation here, right? But this is a transformation that occurs on the very subtle plane. It's not obvious in the outside world, and it's not shocking because it usually happens over time. It happens with like small choices you make, the ways you respond to things. Like, you know, maybe you had a coping mechanism in the past that was very unhealthy, and then you slowly but surely started to do things a bit differently. You started to respond in a way that was more just more healthy, more, you know, more integrated. That Temperance card shows that, you know, this transformation is really happening in a way that's healing, in a way that is almost miraculous. You know, it's like this is a type of transformation where you don't recognize yourself, you know, a few years later or a couple years later, because all those small changes you've been making really add up. We also see the Three of Wands and the Seven of Swords. So there is a feeling of momentum here, and there's a feeling of, you know, things are changing, things are expanding, like you are in a different life, or you are definitely on a different path. But with the Seven of Swords, I do get a sense that but when I say you, I mean we collectively, like we're also still, you know, here someone's playing chess. We're still kind of doubting that our intuition is correct. I believe that's what I'm seeing here. I feel like some of us are still sort of second guessing, you know, what we're feeling, what we're desiring, and we want to be very rigorous. We want to, you know, really examine the choices we're making, the choices we might make, and the potential outcomes. Okay, so I do see with the Seven of Swords that I don't think doubt's the right word. I feel like we're still not fully trusting that that the universe is taking care of us. So we're still trying to hedge bets. That's the word. We're still trying to hedge bets here. So collectively, it's not the most comfortable energy right now. But let's keep going and let's see. We have an oracle deck here. Visions. I love that. And volcano. Yeah. So that makes sense to me, because I feel like some of us really are having these, you know, when it says visions here, I got the word premonitions as well. So I think some of us are having premonitions, having visions. With the volcano card, right? Like we see it can be frightening, because it's like, you know, I think we're seeing all types of possibilities here. And what's interesting is that the Seven of Swords energy is not in the same energy as the Visions energy. So I feel like visioning is really what we should be putting into practice more. Visioning as in, you know, seeing very clearly the best possible outcome. With the Seven of Swords, I feel like there is still some doubt that anything could work out, and therefore we have to hedge our bets. Therefore we have to make, you know, to act in a way that's a little bit self-serving, and to also, it also speaks of a zero-sum game here, okay? But I feel like there's something very powerful that we're getting as a collective message, which is that, you know, to avoid those zero-sum game ways of thinking, and to really like imagine that all possibilities, to believe, to know that all possibilities are available. And the volcano is this message that the landscape can be utterly transformed in an instant. Okay, so what the volcano shows is that change can occur in an instant that just changes, it just changes everything. Okay, so if that is what is possible, then why not vision what we truly want, what we truly desire, what we truly feel is the best possible outcome, rather than trying to act in the world as if our options are so limited. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep going. I think I'm talking too much right now. I'm gonna just continue to pull cards and see what else comes through. We just got the Ten of Cups there, very much in line with what I was saying, and the King of Wands. Yeah, this is just like another way of saying the same message. The Ten of Cups with the King of Wands, it talks about, you know, imagining utopia, right? Imagining the best possible world out there. The Knight of Swords with the Seven of Swords here. So the same energy that you would put into being, I don't like to say the word self-serving. I don't know, but it's just coming through. But let's just, you know, just for conversation's sake, the same energy that someone would put into being self-serving, if they put that energy into being like a true solution, like how would that change everything, right? So that is another message here. It's like, first you start with the vision. You start with a vision that comes from, you know, infinite potentialities. Wow. Ace of Pentacles. And then you put your energy, the mental energy, into figuring out how can that vision be made real? How can that vision be manifest? How can that vision, what is the closest, or what is the most effective way of achieving that vision in the here and now? And we just got the Ace of Pentacles. So it is about planting these seeds of possibilities. And, you know, we start with the dream, but then we make that dream, and we germinate the seed here. It's like we take the dream and we give it enough support to start taking root, to start growing. Even if it's a little bit, we need to give it space in the world, in the 3D world, right? So we have the Five of Cups here. Wow, and we have the Star. We have the Knight of Swords again, and we have the Four of Swords. So yes, I was talking about the grief, and you know, and again, the grief is, this isn't so much about relationships, it's really about grieving what we were in the past, grieving who we were, how we thought, what we took for granted, what we thought was going to be our future. We're grieving that. But with the Star, the Knight of Swords, and the Four of Swords, you know, this is not a time to give up. This is not a time to give up. The Knight of Swords with the Four of Swords is interesting together. But how I'm seeing this is that the Knight of Swords, when it is aligned to the goal, right, to the vision, the principle. See, the star is like the North Star. When your determination to do something is actually aligned with your North Star, okay, that's it. That is also a spiritual growth, spiritual development here. The Four of Swords, I'm seeing it as having a spiritual motivation here. because the Four of Swords is tuning out what is extraneous. It's tuning out what is, you know, just not important, like ephemeral, okay? Like things come and go in life that might be distractions, but they also might be meaningless over time, you know, like, so the frivolity, right? So the Four of Swords is about going within and tuning out what is just really not that meaningful, what is kind of frivolous, or, you know, what is just a distraction, a mental distraction at the end of the day. You're tuning that out, and then you are aligning yourself with your highest principles here, okay? I'm going to now pull these cards. I'm going to go ahead and straighten these up. What is the message for the collective? What's the advice? What's the advice? We also get Aquarius energy with that star card. The Balsamic Moon is currently in Aquarius. Pluto has recently entered Aquarius. Oh, I believe this is the cosmic self. Yes. Oh, wow. What a great card to pull. So this is a bonus card in this deck. It's called the Sacred Cosmic Self. Making sure that's visible. Okay, it's a great card. When darkness holds the space for light and light rejoices in darkness, it is time for you to make your way home. Okay, that's the star card. It is time to return to the inner sweetness of your child self. Open your heart to the wisdom and the divine magic that you are connected to something that is beyond, but that is also within. Surrender any pain or shame or doubt, for these are simply illusions. Lift your face to the stars and remember that you are the invocation, you are the blessing, you are the sacred light. I am the blessing, I am the sacred light. That is the message of that card. And wow, I love that so much, because again, it's like doubts, fears, right? We're tuning, like when we can tune that out and we can realize that that is, you know, noise, right? The signal coming through then aligns us to the star here. It aligns us to our highest self. And again, the visions, okay? The visions we have of utter transformation. It is not just transforming us, it's transforming the whole world. We have that power. We are the invocation, okay? It's such a beautiful message to receive now. Let's go ahead and move on. I want to use this deck. Rise. Wow, I've seen this card multiple times since I started using this deck. Interesting. I don't think this is something I'm channeling. I think this is just something I thought of, but like, I think, you know, if you have a religious background, and if it's a religious background that you really do take solace in, like if it's something that you did feel helped you, I think exploring that more now it would be helpful. If you don't have a religious background, or if you come from, if your upbringing or your childhood was incredibly, you know, traumatic, and partly because of that religion, or, you know, especially because of that religion, you know, I totally understand if organized religion is something that you avoid. Very much understandable. I would just say though that, you know, there's something to be said for practicing spirituality in a more structured way. So, you know, it may not be organized religion, but maybe there are other faiths or practices or belief systems that align with you. You know, belief systems and practices that are more autonomous, that are more about the individual and not, you know, not following a hierarchy, but, you know, something that empowers you individually to get in touch with just the divine, the elements, the, you know, the Earth Mother. So if you have not explored that, or if you barely explored that, I do think now is the time to explore that or deepen that. So we do have rise, we have the moon, we have wish. Yes, this is awesome because the balsamic moon is also called the wishing moon. I believe it's also known as the wishing moon because it's a good time to just get in touch with all, you know, get in touch with everything you've ever wished for, and, you know, let go of the wishes that no longer matter to you, but return to those, you know, the wishes that are still there, the wishes deep in your heart that are still there that you've never let go of. It's a good time to let that come to the surface, let that bubble up, and just honor that, you know, there's something that you're still dreaming for, you're still wishing for. And then with a new moon, you know, that intention, that's the intention you bring into the new moon. It's something from your deepest heart's desires. So we do have rise, we have the moon, we have wish, and we have goodness. So lovely energy coming through, and I think the moon energy is definitely present here in those cards. I now want to pull on this deck just to see what other messages may we get from this lovely moon. We have the Four of Wands. Yeah, that's a celebration. It's also about community, and it's showing up right here above the Four of Swords. I can't help but think with the volcano, Four of Swords, and then Four of Wands, I can't help but think that a very powerful potential that's been hidden is going to be released, and it is going to transform your life, and it's going to make it's going to make a situation in which you felt very alone and isolated. It's going to transform that into a situation in which you feel very connected, and you feel like you belong, and you feel like you feel solidarity. So I do think this balsamic moon in Aquarius is helping us to get in touch with our visions of a stronger community, our visions of a stronger world, utopia, you know, what we imagine to be heaven on earth. It's getting us in touch with those visions. And then it's also helping us identify ways that we can act on those visions. It's not about just keeping that a pipe dream, but it's really about, you know, crystallizing what is an action I can take at this time. And it doesn't have to be the biggest action. It just needs to be aligned. It just needs to be in alignment with your highest self, with your spiritual purpose, with your most, you know, with your beliefs, right? With your most with your highest beliefs, with your highest principles and ethics. So I think that is the message for today. I'm going to go ahead and pull one card from here as a closing message. Can we get one card, please? Advice or potential outcome for the collective at this time. This is the Visionary I Ching. Wow. Great abundance. Hexagram 55 if you practice the I Ching. Thunder above, fire below. Put that right here. Thunder above, fire below. I can't help but think of this combination again, right? The volcano and the visions. The visions being the thunder. The visions being like the catalyst or the change, right? Like the point when we start to believe, and then the volcano being that fire below. It releases such immense creative potential. And then the result being great abundance. When I see this great abundance card, I don't think just abundance in the most usual ways. You know, I don't just think material abundance and earthly abundance, natural beauty, and, you know, I don't think about just this lush landscape. I also think about the abundance of our skills, our talents, our collective skills and talents. What happens when we believe in ourselves? What happens when we do something challenging because we believe we can rise to that challenge? And the abundance of that talent, that's, you know, that human potential, that power, inner power that can then be released on the world in a way that really serves the world, right? That really brings about the greatest good for all. So great abundance. It's not just abundance, it's great abundance. It's such a beautiful last message. So this is today's message, or this is rather this month's collective message for the Balsamic Moon. Thank you so much for being here. And again, if you want a personal reading, feel free to get in touch with me through the links in the description. And also, if you want to, you know, if you have a question, you can't afford a reading, pay attention to these readings every month. You know, I always post, again, I always post a couple of days in advance. You just put your question there, and for no charge at all, I will do a little reading for you in one of these videos. Okay, thank you so much. Take care, y'all. See you at the next video.